Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great night. Getting ready for another good day of trading. All right. So we're about 9 minutes, 8 minutes away from the market open. We just had a little push down uh, here on the 1 minute. I'm just kind of looking to see what happens here on the 15. We do have. Oh, we are getting into this fair value gap that was created. Uh, so I'm gonna kind of want to see what happens there. And we are in the top quadrant of the dealing range here. So do we go and break those all-time highs, or do we pull back a little bit, waiting for the big earnings to come out tomorrow, post-market, or and the next day? So I do have my Gamma X tools up. I'm gonna see if we can't get a trade on this account. I have four 100K accounts. This one's in pretty good profit. Made a little bit of money on this one yesterday. We're going to try this one today with the Gamma X tools. See if they run correctly today. Uh, and so far, it looks like we may be looking at shorts, or we're just kind of staying in the longs here. Okay, so the 15-minute value area, um, the 15-minute value area is pretty small um, so far this morning. From 7 o'clock, we just haven't moved a whole lot. Just this little bitty area here. We are on ES minis, so we'll see what happens here at the open. For everyone that comes in or sees the video at a later date, I really appreciate if you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, make a comment on the video if you like it or not. It's a pretty new channel, but we are starting to grow. Um, I will be putting a link to the Gamma X tools in the description of the video. If anyone wants to check them out once you see them in action. I've got my TradingView charts up over here simply because some of these indicators are not on Ninja. So I like having my TradingView charts up. Let's see if we can't just make these a little bit. Okay. Make everything look a little bit more together here. Okay. Do you have this big volume area that we've been sitting in? Low volume node below us, lots of low volume below us through this push up uh, from, oh, that is the wrong chart, guys. There we go. That was a 4-hour chart. Let's get into the 15. Looks like we're kind of stuck between uh, the 9 and the 21 here on the 15. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful there. Uh, see what happens. We did break out of the 15-minute value area there for a moment. So just take a look and see what price action does here. Okay, low volume node above. Looking pretty clean, filling in some volume areas here. One minute to the open. That is the 15-minute 9. We did make this sweep down in a pre-market. Pretty much equal lows here. See if we go sweep the highs. We are pushing back up from the highs up here in the Asia session. We did just make a couple of higher lows here. So we may want to go and take out the Asia high or London high. So we'll need to see some breakthrough up into this low volume area up here. The market is open, so we're just kind of watching here on the 1 minute to see which way things want to kind of move. ATR is still pretty low in the ES. That will surely be expanding a little bit. See if the 21 and the 9 here can hold in an upward movement when price comes back below VWAP and the 200. They give it a couple of minutes to see which way things might want to be running here. bouncing off that value area low. Breaking back below it. That is a touch of the 21, pretty much. Let's see where things want to go from here. That being some lower highs there, I think we can get a pretty strong candle back up, make another higher low on the 1 minute here. So we are stuck in between the 9. The 9 is rolling over, and we do have some more room back down to the 15-minute 200, which we could very well be trying to get to. We've hit pretty much the midline of the DRT level. We could come back down here to this fair value gap and touch the 7.5 and maybe bounce off of that. So just kind of waiting to see if we can break back above that 15-minute 9. It's just not in a good position for me to be looking at a trade just yet. All right, I think I can turn longs on now. See if we can get a signal. Get into a trade. I think we missed this one because my bot's uh, trained to go in on the creation of the signal, but we'll see if it enters on the next bar, which it did not. That's okay. If we do fall off from here, then you know, we're not going to get any long signals, so that'll be just fine. I think if we close above another swing high, we should get a bullish continuation signal. So far, the New York session looks to be a little bit stronger to the upside than the downside at the moment. We're going to have a pretty big buy wick off this first 15-minute candle at the bottom, coming off the 21 color change. So, yeah, I would certainly like to see get a signal here to the upside. Could certainly come down and then yeah, there's our bullish continuation signal, and we did not get into a trade. Well, we are in a trade. It's not showing it on. That's why, because I'm on the wrong account. There we go. Alright, so we are in this trade. Let's see if we can make a little money or take a loss. Either way. We are looking for 5 points for the first target and then 10 points for the second target. The 9 has crossed the 200 on the 1 minute. Not really liking what I see. We are at point of control. We are still above the 9. Alright, got a little bit of push up here. Got about 7 minutes left in the candle, so if we can break these highs up here, I think we might be able to get a little bit of a run. Although we are pretty much stopping at, there we go, broke through that a little. We can keep that momentum up. Close this 1 minute candle strong would be nice. We did get a color change off the 9, even though the candle looks like it's going to end red. I mean, it's a little bit of a chop, but we are moving in the upwards direction. We're just looking for maybe the sellers here at the beginning to kind of give up just a little bit and give us a little bit of a pop to the upside. We are above VWAP. The 21 is starting to come up to the 200. The 1 minute 200 is starting to move up a little bit here, so VWAP is starting to turn up, so the volume so far seems to be pretty good to the upside. We just need to break through these highs here. Get up into that low volume area on the 15 minute and maybe get us a little push up. Maybe. We are struggling a bit here to continue to the upside. So our stop loss covers all of our SMAs and VWAP, so we'll see. That's a touch of the 21 there. And VWAP and the 200. We can get a nice push off of that. That would be nice. About 5 minutes left in the 15-minute candle. Would kind of like to see this 15-minute candle finish in the green to the upside. Money flow seems to be coming down a little bit. See if it turns around. Not really a great sign for us. Yeah, we just couldn't seem to break that high, so we may end up going down to the lows. Again, I'd like to see this 15-minute candle go upwards, but doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold the 9 SMA. This is going to end up being a loss. and that's okay. It'll be $500. All right. So if we can't get above the 9 and let's see if we want to run to the downside a little here. We do have some room down to the 63s to swipe the London low. So let's see if we can get down there and take care of the London low. If we can get ourselves a signal here, we will have, we'll at least be able to hit our first profit target. All right, there's our bearish signal. And this, so far, this 15-minute candle looks like it is going to close to the downside. We've got about 2 more minutes. Now, I may close this trade manually at the first target. If we can get down there. And if this doesn't work, then we will be holding off on any further trades and probably moving to another account because that will be negative 1,000 in this account. We have a 3,000 drawdown, or we may just stay in this account and wait for a little later in the day to see if we can actually get which direction price is going to be moving here. We've had a pretty decent push up above the SMAs and the 200 and VWAP, and then we've had a nice strong push to the downside. So if neither one of those are going to have follow through, then we're probably going to chop around for a little while, and we will have to just watch that. We have a new 15-minute candle coming, starting up now, so we'll see if we can't get a downward move until 10 o'clock, which will break the London low. Um, and we'll just kind of go from there. Now, my stop should we hit the first target, my stop should go to a trailing stop, which will be below the entry point at that time. So it will lock in the second contract in profit. We do have to hit that first profit target though, which is 664 or 67.64. London lows at 67.63. So if we're going to swipe the London low, then we should be able to hit our first target profit. Would like to get down there before 10 o'clock. Trade is certainly taking a little bit longer than I like, but we just have to let it play out. ES doesn't move quite as fast as NQ or YM, so a little bit more patience is needed here with the ES. Money flow is kind of just moving back and forth here a little bit. And the money flow indicators are these little diamonds. So when money flow goes above 50%, you'll see these diamonds, and below 50%, you'll see the red diamonds. So, boy, we're just having a tough time getting down there. I might not close the entire trade, just because if we do break this low, with the resistance we're kind of getting to get down there, we may actually speed up a little bit when we break that low. So now my stop is in trailing in profit, which usually will come back and tag that exit. It would have to be a pretty fast move through this low for us to get down to the next target profit, which can always happen, or we just swipe the low and come back and take out the trailing stop for profit. And that's kind of looking what the case is going to be like. I would expect every candle here to be breaking the last candle's low and closing below it. And there we have it. So we did get back some of our losses there. I'm going to take shorts off just because we did sweep the London low there, I think. Um, Maybe. Let's zoom in real quick and see, or is that an actual equal low? Yeah, I think we took it by a tick. Um, so the low of this candle was 63 even, and the low of this candle was 63 even. So we have equal lows here. Um, yeah, is it going to take care of that, or are we going to come down to the previous value area low here? Um, okay, oh, that was a previous value area low. We did have yesterday's value area low here. We see if we can come down and tag that and see if we get a reaction off of it. Um, would be pretty nice. So one loss, one win so far, which does keep us in the negative. If we could hit full target profit, we would be up about $250 on the trade. As I have the trade set up to either lose 500 or win 750. So we're going to let the market shake out a little bit. Let's see what happens around the 10 o'clock area, 10 o'clock time, and see what we're looking at on maybe the hourly candles here. Um, we've got several equal lows down here, so a really big volume shelf and low volume node on the hourly there. Um, do we go back and fill those in down to this value area, or do we just stay above it? We've got more volume up above us than we do below us. We did tap into this value area high, um, previous value area high, but we rejected that, so we may very well come down to yesterday's value area low and see what happens from there. It's a pretty big low volume area compared to where we're at right now. So, we could get some fast movement down through there. or uh, it gets held up somewhere. So, but I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. Thanks for joining at the open, and I will be back in a few minutes to see what the 10 o'clock candle brings us. All right, we're back. Oh, let's see here. By the way, everybody, there is a delay on the stream, so please don't follow the trades. I have about a 1 minute delay going on, so I will see if I can't get that worked out. I am pretty new to the YouTube streaming, um, and I'll research that today to see if I can't uh, get less of a delay or reduce the delay to zero if at all possible. So we did get a down candle on the 1 hour. Would be kind of looking for some uh, continuation on that. So 756 is the value area low from yesterday since we did reject. I'm going to go ahead and turn on shorts. Um, we do look like we are trending down a little bit here on the 1 minute. So we'll see if that is going to continue. And see if we can't get a bearish continuation here to get us down to yesterday's value area low. We've got a shift. We do not yet have a continuation. Um, our ATR on the 1 minute candles is at about a 3. So, and we have a 5 point stop. So we really wouldn't want to be too much further than 1 or 2 candles away from the SMAs. Um, Now we are into this fair value gap, so we are going to have to kind of be careful of that. I'm just setting a few things up here. All right, so I'm going to pull trading view off to the side here. Open that up. Pull this in. There we go. All right, BS up. That got a little wonky. That got a little wonky. Let's fix that. There we go. All right. And Okay. Now I would kind of like to uh, see what happens here. Yeah. So we do have. See if I can get this. Yeah. So we do have this 1 hour fair value gap here, but we do have some other gaps below it. So rebalancing this gap wouldn't be a bad thing. And that's at 754. And if we look over at our trading view charts, um, yeah, the uh, this value area low is at 757. Um, so to get down and rebalance that gap, we would have to break that a little. Um, maybe we don't. Maybe that holds up. Uh, I would like to see it rebalance it. Kind of looking for a 21 stop here. If we do move back into a full upwards movement on the 1 minute chart, then I'm going to be turning shorts off because we'll be in the trap zone between the 200 VWAP and the slow moving average or the fast moving averages. Uh, but what I would like to see here is the 21 hold and get a color change and give us another bearish shift. So, you know, let's switch this back over. There we go. I'm going to have my stream deck set up this evening, so I won't have to keep looking over at my other monitor uh, to move back and forth for everyone. So that'll be a little bit better tomorrow. Um, but again, you know, the rebalance of this fair value gap is pretty close to the value area uh, low from yesterday. So I certainly wouldn't mind seeing us uh, get down in there, but we did come close to tapping it, and um, so it looks like this fair value gap here. Let me switch over. No, I can't do that. Let me switch this one over to a 5 minute chart. I would like to see, okay, we did make a fair value gap on this push down. So if we can come back into that fair value gap, if we even get there, we are touching the 5 minute 9 VWAP at the moment. Everything on the 5 minute is still looking good for shorts. We did break structure here. Um, down here is a break of structure, but did we? Yeah, we closed it. All right. So the pullback is expected coming off the 5 minute 9 VWAP. The 21 is in a good down position. We did make this fair value gap. I would actually love to see us come up and tap this fair value gap and then head back down, but that would mean touching the 21, which I would also love, um, and getting our bearish shift from there. Uh, but we shall see. We're still getting bullish shifts at the moment because price is above the 21 and the 9. But so far this morning, after swiping the London low, we're not uh, we're not screaming up, but we could possibly change directions after sweeping the London low and getting into that 1 hour fair value gap made from yesterday afternoon or yesterday midday. What time was that 1 hour candle? The 11 o'clock candle. So yeah, midday yesterday. Um, a little precarious of a position. I'm still willing to go short here to see a rebalance of this fair value gap. But we will need to close below uh, the 21 and the 9 here. They are coming back together, so we'll see if we break this high and start breaking this high to get back above VWAP. That might change my bias there. But if we are going to be going lower off of the 5-minute 9, then we should get a pretty good signal with a pretty good stop placement and a decent target down to rebalance that gap. So that is one thing again to watch. We are trying to break back into the value area on the 15-minute trading view charts for today's value area, and we'll see how that goes. The 15-minute 9 has not crossed below the 15-minute 21 yet, but we do still have plenty of room back down to the 15-minute 200 if that is uh, where we are trying to get to. So we got about 2 minutes, 45 seconds left on the 15-minute candle. We'll see if it closes below the value area low for the session. Now that value area is going to change a bit today because it is early in the session. So, but what we do look at, and I'll just pull those charts back up again. What we do look at is the previous day's value area highs and lows. Okay, so again, we broke through yesterday's high, but rejected off of it, came back into the value area. We're now kind of at yesterday's point of control, which could be why we're kind of chopping around in this area. So this 15-minute candle, we're looking for it to either close above or below today's value area to see what kind of direction we might be able to keep. And again, we came close to yesterday's value area low, but we didn't quite touch it. We don't have to. And I'm looking at my trading view charts over here, so forgive me looking away from the camera. But I would kind of like to see us get down there and actually get to that level. Now, we're kind of in a strange spot here where the 9 is crossed back over the 21, but we are holding this level, this rebalance of this 1-minute fair value gap. We haven't quite reached up into the 5-minute fair value gap that was made this morning. Not sure if we will. Everything on the 5-minute chart is in a very nice downward trend. The 1 hour chart, we are in a downward pull. We're below the 9, below the 21, with plenty of room to get back down to the 1 hour 200, but I'm not sure if we'll make it down there for sure. But I would kind of like to see the 5-minute hold up here. and get us a move off of uh, the 9 or VWAP or even the 21 at that fair value gap. That fair value gap is sitting at 71.75, so we're not far away from it now. And that will be just below the 200 when we tap that gap, the 1 minute 200. I do need to switch my charts back over so you can see what the hell it is I'm talking about. Um, Now I am also looking at the cumulative delta uh, volume and where that is kind of going at the moment. So right now, everything is in line. We don't have any divergence at the moment. Um, so I do kind of look for a spot, especially if I'm looking for a short here, kind of looking for a spot for some divergence in delta and price. Um, so especially here, we are basically at a double top on delta, but we have not broken this high. So what I'm looking at is the difference between this high and this high. Um, and I would kind of like to see delta push up and make the delta chart make a new high above this without price going above that high. Um, but it looks like delta is starting to fall again here. We'll see what it does. Um, as long as we're holding below VWAP, the initial move, we had some manipulation to the top side of the range. Um, we had manipulation to the bottom side of this range. Then we went to the top side, and then we fell off. So I'm kind of looking for VWAP to hold here, or um, the 5 minute to go up and touch that 5 minute fair value gap. Now I'm going to turn shorts off. Well, I really don't want to turn shorts off here. We're touching the 21 and we are touching that 5 minute fair value gap now. So I kind of want to leave shorts on here. Um, what I do want to look at is the retrace from this high to this low, and we are right in the 6270 area at a fair value gap as well. So I'm going to leave shorts on here. Um, this is a good OTE entry area. Now, for me, price is going to have to get back down below the 21 um, for the bot to take a short. So I would kind of like to see some consolidation up in this area a little bit um, to let the 21 catch up to the 9 before breaking below both of them to give us a signal on whether or not we are going to go lower. So I'm kind of watching the VWAP at the moment and kind of seeing, are we able to have any strength above VWAP, strength above the 5 minute 21, and do we get through this first 5 minute fair value gap and invert this gap? So I am okay with price breaking the 70 here because just above the 70 is where the midline of this fair value gap is. So I want to see the 5 minute chart close uh, below that 50% level, even if the wick is going up, which we've just tapped through the fair value gap into the 5 minute 200. So this is going to be an area really to look for. We did swipe the London low. Could we now go swipe, um, the Asia high? Very possible. Which means we're going to have to get back above today's uh, value area high, which we did fail to close back below today's value area low. So let's see what happens at the value area high, which we just touched as well. And we did close and invert that gap. So I'm going to turn shorts. Oh shit. I'm going to turn shorts off and longs on. For a moment there, I thought I was in a trade, but that was all of this niceties here. And I just missed the signal. Doesn't that suck? Just a minute too late. But if we are going to go up, 785 is the target. So we could, if we get another signal here, we could, not sure if we're going to get another signal. That's a problem. Because we got two signals here and we got a signal, master signal there. So I'm not sure if we're going to get another signal. We might when we break these highs here at 77, which still gives us at least our first target profit to hit. Um, I should have gotten in or turned longs on when we inverted that 5-minute gap. I just wasn't watching the 5-minute close. I probably would have caught that signal there, which I would have very much have preferred to as to catching a signal up in this area. Um, but if we can pull back now to retest the 200 and the 1-minute 9, that would be great. Not sure if it's going to, but that would be nice. Yeah, just probably not going to happen. And if we don't catch a signal pretty soon, then we're not going to hit our 5-point target to go sweep the highs. So I don't know. Okay, well there's a nice little pullback into this fair value gap. The fair value gap through the 200. Didn't quite get into it yet. That's okay. Perfectly happy with that. Let's see what it does with it. Now, if it inverts this gap, we may just be in a 15-minute or even a 1-hour range here, which is a pretty tight range. But definitely we want to see this hold up. But I am perfectly happy to get that down push so that we get another signal on the way up. If we do break back above in the 200 holds here. again, I would be more than happy for us just to consolidate here for a moment. Let the 21 catch up. But at this point, since we did sweep London low and we did come back up and break highs, um, I'm kind of on the bullish side of the market at this point to go and take out um, the Asia high as well and have a search and destroy kind of day here. I really don't want to see this gap get inverted. I'm okay with a rebalance. I just don't want to see it get inverted. Um, and we did make a bullish 5-minute gap here. So we just tapped right back into the top of that. Didn't actually get down into it, which I'm again perfectly okay with. Um, but our SMAs on the 5-minute are still set for shorts. So if we invert this gap after inverting the bearish gap, I'm just going to have to sit on my hands for a while because if none of the fair value gaps are getting respected and they all keep getting uh, inverted, then the market is just indecisive. It has not picked a direction. Um, so I would actually love to see it come down to the midline right at the 25-minute 21 and get a 21 hold here. If we just yeah, we just went right through the bottom of that fair value gap. Um, and I will turn shorts on here to see if we go back because the 1 hour is in the downward movement. Um, although we did go break the 1 hour high and we've broken the 1 hour low of the last 1 hour candle. We are in a downtrend in the 5-minute according to the SMAs. And if that was just a fake flip, then we definitely are going back down to take out some more of these 5-minute gaps. Um, so I am going to watch this here for a minute. I will have my shorts on because if we do get a signal after swiping that low, we can come back and swipe this low, or we could go back up and then swipe that high and just keep playing this game. So if we do get a signal, then we possibly, this push up did not break structure. I don't think we closed above that high. Um, so the structure could still be, yeah, I mean, even on the 5-minute, we wicked above, but we didn't close above any structure here. So we could still be in a downtrend. That could just be a very good liquidity sweep um, to get us lower on the day. So we will watch that. Um, why is my session volume profile gone? What the heck happened there? Okay. Well, we did break back below today's value area. And let me throw that back on that chart over there. Session view up. Add to the layout. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I've only got two over here. Oh, that's why. I don't know how that happened. Hmm. 2 pane above. Move to pane above. Okay. Maybe I'm just clicking around, screwing around there. All right, we are in a short. Let's see if it's a wiener, or if we're just going to make a higher low. Uh, Now, if we do make a 5-minute gap here and continue to the downside, that's going to be quite a bit larger 5-minute gap, bearish gap, than what was made at the beginning of the session. So we will definitely have to see. So all we have to do is get down and even make it an equal low to hit our first target here, which I would greatly appreciate if the market would be so kind. And we are also taking this short as the 1-hour candle has now turned red again. So that helps us out a little bit. But because that 1-hour candle broke the high and the low, there is no telling what's going to happen here. Just kind of looking for this to hold up uh, and give us a 1-hour continuation candle to the downside. And like I said, it'd be even just making a double bottom here on the 1-minute chart, give us our first target. So let's kind of hope for the best, eh? Alright. No, get off my damn charts. I don't need you up here. I don't know why I can't get rid of this box. Pretty tough price action to trade today for sure. Um, our stop is already below the 21 in VWAP, so I'm kind of looking for the 9 to hold here. Yeah, I was going to reduce my risk here just a little bit, but I think I'm going to hold it here for a minute. I mean, if we do make a lower high or a higher low here and go back to the top side, then that's fine. Not that I want to lose another $500, but on this account, but you know, it is what it is. You can only try to read the market as best you can, um, and go from there. We do. It looks like we are going to make another 5-minute bearish gap. But again, is it going to hold? Even if we come up to test the midline of it after making it, that might actually stop us out. Right now, 67 is 68 is the 5-minute 9, which is kind of flattening out, not really staying in a downward turn again. The 21 in VWAP is turning down, but if we get back up there, we're definitely going to be stopped out of this trade, um, which on the 1 minute looks like might be a very good possibility. And yeah, that's going to be a stop out, which will put us somewhere around 700, I think. 622 negative on that account. So we're going to switch accounts. We're going to put up some new strategies on another account. And oh shit, did I just lock up? I did. I just locked up NinjaTrader. Fuck. Because I didn't turn them off before I did something on the chart. Let me reboot. I will put up my TradingView charts for the moment. Let me get NinjaTrader rebooted. So the bot's running well. We're just not in a good position for trading. So I'm okay with the $600 loss on that account. I didn't trade the account where I have $1,000 in profit. That account I would reserve until I see uh, some good movement in the market. I can make back that 600 or 587, 622, whatever it was. Um, uh, Give me just a second, everybody. I just gotta clear out NinjaTrader and uh, reboot it if I can. Now, it has given me some problems since OBS is running NinjaTrader in the Windows. Sometimes it gives me trouble rebooting NinjaTrader and I have to shut down the entire computer, which we won't do. We'll just move to our TradingView charts. Just really wanted to show everybody, you know, trade with the Gamma X tools today. Um, but if that's not going to be possible, then, you know, it is what it is. Let's see if it reboots. Okay, we've got a reboot. All right. Yeah, we're all the way back up at the 21 on the 1 hour candle. So it's not moving. Price is just not moving today. At least not yet. You know, we may consolidate for the morning and then actually make a move around lunch, uh, or maybe even um, in the afternoon. Who knows? But at the moment, you know, I'm not going to be taking any trades. So to get that going back up, we just go to our strategies in NinjaTrader, and we have the Autobot that controls everything. 13 is what we just traded. 60. Let me turn that off for just a second before. Oh wait, remove that. Close that. I want to look at my accounts and see which one I need to be trading here. So these two are in profit. Um, this one, we're down 622. This is a new account, so that is 35. Okay, so we'll go to our strategies, add the bot, and go to 35. And then we'll add the generator and put that on 35. Apply. Okay. Go to our strategies tab, turn on the bot, turn on the generator, Now, if you notice, the generator is not lined up well, so if we just turn the bot off and back on, everything lines up now in our window. So we're on ES. We will uh, put the bot on ES, bring up our preset, and then apply the settings. Okay, and then go to our generator, pick up our preset, apply those settings, and then we can turn the automation on. But as long as we don't have longer shorts turned on, we're not going to be taking any trades. And that's basically what I'm looking at right now. This 1 hour range uh, just isn't looking good to me right now. So let's take a look over at TradingView for a second and see what we've got going on here. Okay, so yeah, we've definitely got chop. We've got a strong 1 hour candle going to the upside now here, where we could possibly go and um, take out that Asia high, uh, which the Asia high is up at 785. But again, I'm not liking what it's doing at the moment. We keep trying to break outside of this range here. So we do have this range here that we haven't touched yet, but we just keep coming back below London low. Now, depending on how this 1 hour candle closes, um, you know, do we then look for continuation to the upside? I don't know. I mean, we've got, to get up to the Asia high, we've got plenty of volume up through here to get there. Um, we do have a low volume node now on the 1 hour chart or the 15-minute chart. My bad. Um, which should protect us from going below that again if we are going to go and take out the Asia high. But I don't know. I really just don't know. And until we start getting some distance away from the 200, I don't like anything. I mean, that's all we're doing. It's just we've got a flat 200, and every time we get a power move away from it or back to it that closes on the opposite direction, we just don't get any follow through. We did make a higher low on the 1 minute chart here. Um, so move this back to 5 minutes. See, I mean, bearish gap inverted, bullish gap inverted, bearish gap inverted. So the market's just in a balanced price range. It's not going anywhere. So until we break out of that balanced price range, there's no reason for us to be trading, right? So now we basically have a 5 minute range here that we need to watch from bottom to top. And we can just throw on a little rectangle there from we'll take the pre-market range high down to this low now. And we're just going to watch that and see what happens. Um, we do have some fair value gaps above us and below us. So we can watch those as well and see, which side breaks first, right? Because right now we're not breaking either side. So until I see a 5 minute fair value gap that's retested and actually holds to make either new highs or new lows, there's just nothing for me to do here. Um, Certainly can't trust the 1 minute chart, can't trust the 5 minute chart at this point. The 15 minute chart, let's just put that up over here because we may see a 15 minute gap made. Right now, nothing. Okay, so we took a few shots to see if we could break out of this area, and we ended up taking a 600 plus loss on that account, and that's okay. I mean, that's I still have four more tries at that account, and before I trade that account again, I want to see a market where I get more confident in finding the move to get a full win. Because a full win on my system is $750. So it only takes one trade to erase that that drawdown on that account. Okay. Um, Let me see. Which charts do I have up? Okay. Let me move back over. Sorry. Like I said, once I get my Stream Deck set up, this will be a lot easier. I won't have to look at the screen to see which chart I'm on. I can just press the button and know which chart I'm on. So we have a $622 drawdown, but all it takes is one win, which is $750 to wipe out that drawdown. So I'm not worried about that. I have four more chances at that account before I blow it, right? Because I have a $3,000 drawdown, which, with just one trade loss, I have six chances at an account. I took a full loss, $500. Then I got a win, which gave us a portion of that back. We were only down 100 and something dollars at that point. So only being down 100, I'm okay with seeing if I can catch another win. Because when we catch a win, we're hoping we stay in that direction, right? Um, and, you know, we took a loss. So instead of just $500 down, I'm 622. Still perfectly okay with that. If I took two losses in a row, that account's definitely done for the day. But since I got a loss and a win, now I have a little bit more wiggle room to take a third trade on that account. Um, and I'm still okay with two losses in a row of hitting a $1,000 drawdown on the day because, you know, the next day, all I need to do is catch a win. If it's a good market, and again, I won't trade that account unless I see a good tradable market. This, you know, is not. So hope that helps a little bit. I know it's kind of rambling, but it's just the way my brain works. So I have got to figure out, oh, participants. Just me, huh? Wait, how do I get that? Reactions, timestamps, participants. I always have this little box. I need to check that out. I'm not sure. Okay. Um, Actually, what I need to do is just go look at my channel. Do 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 do. View your channel. That out. I'm not sure. Okay. Um, Actually, what I need to do is just go look at my channel. Okay. View your channel. That out. I'm not sure. That. Um, can undock that. It's always fun learning new stuff. So, okay, so we haven't had any chat today, but it's okay. I can undock that. It's always fun learning new stuff. So, okay, so we haven't had any chat today. I'll turn that off. Live chat back up. YouTube live control panel. Okay. Let's just bring up chat. Okay. All right. Oh. Oh, hey, look. We created a fair value gap, and it held at the midline. Oh my goodness. But we're still not out of the range. All right. So I need to see something more than what we have at the moment um, for me to consider this worth it. Okay. We need to break out of this range, and I want to see a fair value gap made on the breakout of the range. Not down here in the middle of the range. So we're still gonna chug along, be patient. And if we don't catch another trade for the rest of the day, then so be it. We're down $600 on one account. We still have profit in the other two and a brand new one that we haven't even taken a trade in yet. So, oh, speaking of which, that new account was 35, so I need to switch this to 35. So if we do actually get in a trade at some point, we'll be able to see it happening. All right, so we're coming into the 11 o'clock hour, which is going to be the London close. Let's see if that moves the market at all. My sweet tea. Bring the little table back over here. Hey, now the thing is, even if we were to take a trade here, which I'm not comfortable with, all we've been doing is expanding the range. We're getting to the point where to reach the Asia high, we would not have enough room to hit our uh, first target, because our first target is 5 points, so we need to be in a trade before we reach 67.80, right? Which we're going to be there already. Uh, if this becomes a fair value gap, then we're going to have to push up. Now, if we break the Asia high and can hold that, then that's a different story, right? So let's move over to our trading view charts real quick. And we'll kind of watch that because we do have um, our key levels indicator on TradingView, which we don't have on Ninja. I'll have to look for it, but it would be a third party indicator and it might be something I would have to pay for. on NinjaTrader, so I'm not gonna deal with that. We also have the previous day's high, which Asia did not break, and Monday's high up here as well. So we broke it, but we just didn't close above it. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Delta has definitely gone through the roof there. 34,000 to the plus side. Previous day's high and Asia's high is something I definitely want to watch because we could go sweep Asia's high and then just fall right back below previous day high. Um, you know, we're still really close together. We are starting to spread apart, um, but this is a key level for us to watch for a possible reversal here. Or continuation. Continuation would tell me that we might be headed back for all-time highs. Um, you know, we still haven't swiped. Yeah, that would be the Asia high, which would be a 4-hour swing high to swipe. And then we've got, well, that's not placed correctly. No, what happened there? Did we accidentally move it? Check out the low. Low seems to be right. Okay. Alright, let's lock that in. That was the problem. We didn't have it locked in. Okay. Go back to the 15-minute chart here. So we are still in the upper quadrant here, right? So if we take another quad fib and we run from 75 to the all-time high, so we've broken above the halfway mark here. What I would like to see is come into extreme premium pricing here, and maybe hit this area at 795, and maybe pull back from there. Uh, I'm not saying we will, but it's definitely another good area just to watch there. And we can even break that down further um, and kind of watch this and see where we're at, because maybe we don't get, all the way up to that quadrant. Maybe we roll over here after breaking the Asia high. So we can just watch these levels and see what happens. With the 1-minute chart reaction. Okay. So let's take this. Those settings, I would have to go through and brighten up all of those individually. And I'm not really looking to do that. So we'll just watch them. Okay. So we did just break the Asia high. And we did create a fair value gap out of the range. Okay. So there's our fair value gap breaking out of the range. And now that we broke Asia high, I would like to see us come down and retest that gap and see if it holds. Nope. Yeah. You didn't see the gap. You didn't see the gap. Okay. So here's our 5-minute fair value gap breaking out of the range. Swept the Asia high. Now I'd like to see us come down and see if this fair value gap holds for us to then go back into the previous day high. We are retesting the previous day high now at the 1:09. So if we hold and have a color change, we may go higher. The next level I'd be looking at is 791. Still doesn't give us a whole lot of room. The 1/4% of that's the halfway. The 1/4% would be up at 804. That we would definitely have enough room on. Breaking below the 9 here doesn't make me real confident in a continuation. We are holding right at the previous day's high. And we are above yesterday's value area high as well. So, which is right just below the previous day high. So let's see if that level will hold. And see if we can't get a little bit of movement here. I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. I will return momentarily. Alright, so we're back. We got a little sideways movement here, which could mean one of two things. We're either just not going to go higher and we're going to fall back down, or we're just waiting for the 21 to catch up and pop back up there. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it and see what happens here. Looks like we may actually make a 15-minute fair value gap. We are holding above previous day's high. So I am going to turn longs on here. We didn't reject right away. We'll see if when the 21 pop comes up, which is getting pretty darn close, if we get us a strong candle to the upside here. Usually I would like to see a clearing candle that clears all of these candles here, be a pretty decently strong candle. That might get us into a trade, and maybe we get another 5 points out of it. Again, one of the areas I'm looking at is 795, which is about 10 points away, or possibly even 800. So that would give us plenty of room. We are in a long. We did get our clearing candle. So let's see if we can get a little bit more of movement on the day. It does look like we are continuing. We've got one push up. We've got two pushes up. What I would like to see is a third push up here to get us into one of those around the 800 area. And if we can reach 800, that'll be a full trade. So glad I got back when I did and got that put up. Now the other thing is we did make a 15-minute fair value gap, and we could try to come down and retest that 15-minute fair value gap. If we do that, then we're going to fall back below previous day's high and get stopped out of this trade. But so far, we have finally broken out of the range with a fair value gap. I'm kind of looking for the 1 minute to hold above the 21 for at least 3 legs of movement. We don't always get it, but 3 to 5 is typically the higher probability. So we'll go ahead and take a shot on this account. It is our new account that we hadn't traded yet. And of course, money flow is going to head to the downside. I'm not quite liking to see that. Money flow is going back to the top side. We are about to close this 15-minute candle. And it is going to close red. So if we do come down to test the fair value gap that's going to be made here on the 15 minutes, we're going to get stopped out of this trade. But again, being in an uptrend, if we do come back and test that 15-minute fair value gap before heading up, and the fair 15-minute does hold at the midline, then I certainly would try another trade on this account. kinda hoping we don't, but a lot of times once the fair value gap is made, we do come back down to touch it before heading up, and that is what it is going to do. Didn't quite tap it there, but still another 30 seconds left in this candle for it to come down and do just that. I'm not going to move the stop, even if it's just a tap and go in our direction. You know, it is what it is. We have a 5 point stop, and with the average candle being, yeah, with the average candle being 2.4, if we get that big of a move, then, you know, it is what it is. Now we have tapped into that fair value gap, so I'm going to leave short longs on here um, and see if we do actually get support at this fair value gap to go higher. We have dropped below the previous day's high. We didn't really um, break through that with any force. But again, with the fair value gap created on the 15-minute to get up there, maybe we do get some support here and continue back up. So that is the midline. Looks like we came through it pretty hard. Let's see what happens with this 1 minute candle to see if we can find support at the midline there. Um, hmm. And again, no, we just immediately rebalanced that fair value gap. So taking longs off and still not comfortable in a short as, you know, we're just coming back into range. Uh, yeah, it's just not a good day to trade, folks. Um, I actually probably should have seen this coming, and I'll show you why. Um, this is why uh, two different charts up, having to have two different charts up is a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to show you the trading view charts here. And on the 1 minute, this is something I definitely look for. Um, Unfortunately, I was more focused on the ninja charts. Um, the divergent from swing high to swing high um, is slightly downward. Okay? It's not a big difference, but it is slightly downward. Even if it was a double top, it's still divergent. Why? Well, because price actually made a new high. So with that divergence, you can usually catch a couple of candles to the downside. Now, if I had seen that when we made the high, and then it became a red candle with red delta, I could have gotten in at 784, and we would have had our 5 points on that win there. Okay, so yeah, it is what it is. Um, we took the trade in the wrong direction. Um, as much as I like using the bot and Gamma X, I don't have the indicator sets that I need over here just yet. Um, they are working on building them, but it is gonna take a little while. I mean, they've got a lot, they're coding a lot of stuff. Um, the bot and the Generator X are fantastic tools, but I need the indicators that I need to be able to trade this. Now, we may actually have cumulative volume delta on which, uh, my dumb ass hasn't bothered to take a look in Ninja because I could have seen that looking at the Ninja charts, right? Uh, down around delta. No, volume. No. So there's really nothing there. Um, I can look at LuxAlgo and see if they have one because I am a lifetime member there. Um, so yeah, two of our accounts are in drawdown. Two of them are still in profit, and I won't be touching the ones that are in profit today, just because the market is not showing me any kind of direction whatsoever. I mean, even on when we finally got a 15-minute fair value gap, it just went straight back down and showed no support at all. So today is not going to be a good day to trade. Um, and I have other things that I could be doing. Uh, Maybe not golf, at least for a little bit. Looks like we got some clouds coming through, so we might get some rain. Um, and I need to look and see if I can get cumulative volume delta up on the NinjaTrader charts. And Gamma X may actually have it. I'll have to look at their indicator set, that or Lux Algos, to see if I can find it and get it put up. Um, but for now, that is it. Um, I think I'll call it a day here. Get some other stuff done. It's 11:30. Um, I may look at the charts later and see if we start actually getting sustainable trends um, in the afternoon session. But right now, I don't see anything. All right. Hey, we can't win every day, right? So you gotta just deal with the losses, and I'm okay with them. I haven't taken any account into any major drawdown that I can't get out of with one trade. Um, so, um, but I certainly, on a day like today, do not want to risk uh, the accounts that have profits. And by the way, this is also why today may not be a very good trading day, is because post market we have Netflix earnings coming out, but tomorrow, um, Wednesday, after the market close on Wednesday, we have Tesla earnings coming out, and then Thursday, after market close on Thursday, we have Microsoft earnings coming out. So we have some really major earnings coming out towards the end of the week, which again may be why we're just going to sit around this little range for a while. Now, I would imagine Tesla could push us into all-time highs. Microsoft could continue that move if both of those beat their earnings. Um, but we'll have to see uh, what happens there. So we've got some really big stuff coming up at the end of the week, which should make for a good tradable market, either way, up or down. Um, and Nvidia is not until November sometime, so that'll be the other big one to see where the market goes from there. But you know, I kind of was looking for a bit of a pullback in the market today, a tradable pullback, not just a range, um, to kind of lower prices right before Tesla earnings. It just didn't happen. So, yeah, it is what it is. And we'll come back tomorrow. In fact, with knowing that that news is going to come out, I probably won't trade anymore today. And I always qualify that with a probably because if the market does actually start to show some movement um, with an extended trend, um, number one, my my 15 minute needs to get in line. Um, my one my 1 hour, I'm not so worried about, but I would like at least a 15-minute to get in line, um, which it is trying to do at the moment, but. I kind of need to see a break above previous day's high with some force. We did not actually create a fair value gap going through the previous day's high. We did create a fair value gap coming back down uh, through previous day's high. We actually created a propulsion gap, which is two 1 minute gaps back to back. Um, But again, the market has not been respecting any fair value gaps this morning, so we would have to wait and see if those gaps are even uh, respected. So I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. If you did, uh, you know, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, um, throw in a comment, and you know, if there's something that I can do better to make the stream better, I certainly will. Um, and I'm working on getting better anyway. Again, since it's not a great tradable day, I'm going to go make some content for my channel. I'm going to get my stream deck set up so that I don't have to keep moving my head back and forth from monitor to monitor. Eventually, I do want a stacked monitor setup so that I can keep my head in one direction and be able to glance from chart to chart without really missing anything like we did on that 1 minute divergence. Um, because that in itself, I wouldn't have taken the long. I would have actually went short, and that would have been a $750 winning trade on that third account. So glad everybody's here along with me in the journey. Uh, it's super exciting to get my trading out there to people on YouTube and hopefully help someone else become a better trader. Um, this is something that we never stop learning at, so I will always get better, um, and looking forward to getting a few people to follow along with me. So, till tomorrow, everybody, be blessed. Have a great day. Go touch some grass. If you're not doing well in the markets, like I am, uh, just cut those losses, call it a day, and tomorrow will be another trading day. So take care, everybody.